Hi everyone, welcome to Canalización Armonía. My name is Luz. If you're seeing my videos for the first time, I'm going to do a full moon reading for this full moon that is currently going on right now. And I already pre-shuffle your spread. I also have some downloads, some notes I'll be reading from my laptop here in front of me. Um, I definitely wanted to connect those because these have been coming through this full moon, and just today I decided like I'm going to make a video about this energy and remember these things because the downloads were pretty fluid, were pretty like connected. Like I'm seeing in my mind's eye a like the when you're a monitor that measures your heartbeat like from the hospital. I'm seeing that the frequency I'm hearing like shaman resonance frequency. I'm not so sure about what that is, but I've seen it. What else? Spirit is coming through with like very just something abstract at first, and now it's more like I kind of understand it more as the days pass and as I let the information integrate. Um, so yeah, I hope you enjoy this and it's somehow informative or gives you a little bit of hope of what's going on, nowadays collectively and with each of your situations for some clarity. Okay, so I'll give you a look at the spread right now, and we'll be reading also from my channelings that I typed. Our first card is the Three of Swords, right here. Um, a lot of the energy that is coming through is like an energy of perhaps frustration. Anything that has to do with that, right? So yeah, from martyr, from grieving, very painful grieving. Um, all of that is waking up our traumas, and even if this is not as heavy and as dense as that, it could simply be nostalgia that is coming up about some past events that, of course, like we can have beautiful memories and we can have nostalgia about what it was and how it's transformed now. But this is more like spirit is bringing the the awareness of when it has turned into melancholia. Yeah, that's the word. Melancholia. And also like when it's like us revisiting and revisiting just in purpose just to feel something, because maybe perhaps we feel a little bit lost in the present, or yeah, so those kinds of things are coming through. And this is also about like maybe losing certain stuff, this could be material stuff as well, and just kind of coming back to not isolating yourself. And this is the energy about around this full moon. It actually feels like you can be pretty social around this full moon, um or you could have been, or you could be thinking, of planning to. uh but yeah, I want to move on to the next card, which is the Magician. This is about breaking paradigms for this Sagittarius energy that I am channeling personally. So intuitively, I got some messages just when the full moon peaked, and it was about so it was about fear not shutting you down, but waking you up. Fear not shutting you down, but waking you up. And that's when you turn really dangerous. When they can control you, when they cannot put you in a little box and you realize that you were always free to get out of that box, of that category or whatever they classified us as, society systems. I want to say even school systems, even you know, the pharma system, hospitals as well, like trying to categorize us with a list of vaccines. Yeah, I don't want to get banned, so I know that even that is kind of like being so censored right now in videos in YouTube. So, you know what I'm talking about, those that you put on your arm and they go into your body with a pinch, with the nurse. I think all of that they want to like put inside of us to be more susceptible, like susceptible or receptive to suggestion, suggestion, like, like kind of like also like mind controlling us, even if not that, like even with TV, with the news or anything like this. And that was coming through, um, like pushing us to be just one thing, and in this world with our purpose and our mission, like either we are really, really, really kind and we only help others and we think less, about ourselves. We are completely selfless and we only serve our neighbor, or we are super intelligent and we investigate stuff like Sagittarius energy, like just as much as teacher, as student, like either we do that or we are selfless and serve, and not even like um, look at ourselves, like how we dress, how we present to the world, or express ourselves, or either we get involved in justice to advocate ourselves, but then you can't be like this selfless person anymore, or you can't be like this soul that wants to like innovate, like create new things, create a new earth, a new system, new school systems, new food systems, you name it. Like, I think they're trying to tell us that you just have to be one thing. And I had a download just now. Okay. Yeah, I'm being like encouraged to share it. But a few years ago, when I was hanging out with my father, he told me that I should only stick to learning piano and not try to learn other instruments. So my point is this: like like society has taught us to believe that we can only do one thing, that we have to sacrifice other things that we want to explore, and essentially like things that we love in order to do one thing. Like think about university, like they make you choose one career. Yes, you can major and minor in things, but it's so hard. They make it hella hard. They make it so difficult for you to have the mental capacity and emotional capacity and not go nuts, in order to do these things. So that thing is coming through too. And yes, because I am a musician, I like to explore a bunch of instruments, and I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep learning. It excites me. It is my medicine, to myself. I enjoy it. And my father, he is a musician as well. Right now, he's only focused playing guitar for years, and he told me that it was cool that I was playing guitar, but that I should stick to learning piano and perfectioning piano, because he also, when he was young, wanted to learn the drums and the piano and everything, but he realized that it wasn't like meant to be. And that's what he let the world make him believe, that he can have many passions, that he's stuck to this one box, this one identity. But Spirit is saying around this full moon, and wow, yeah, my dad, by the way, he's a Sagittarius. So it's just like I'm just linking and channeling this moment that it's the Sagittarius full moon energy. Yeah, like I so want to encourage everyone, like my children, and also like whoever, I want to encourage their inner child as well, like to let themselves explore and to not let anybody tell them that you're supposed to be doing one thing. That's something that came through. um so we also have the King of Pentacles. This is very good, like energy of good karma coming through with like financial security, with very, um, I want to say like you're very good, um, anchor right now for you and your family if you have one, or you and others that you're leading. I feel like this energy of teaching, again, Sagittarius energy, like a teacher or a guide, like guiding everything to this way and this way of life of prosperity. Like perhaps it is a literal business, perhaps it's just like a milestone, like this energy of being really, really generous, of really wanting to settle with a relationship that it's worth settling for. Or maybe that is coming for some of you, like romantically I'm talking about, but yeah, also like friendship wise. um yeah, the patience and honesty and kindness, all of that you can choose and guide your ship with all these, um factors, wind, water, the sun, like patience, honesty, um being like really protective in some ways, and putting all these elements together in order to, drive. I mean, in order to sail your ship. Yeah, that's how you say it, right? Sail. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. And this is really like beautiful too. This is really about success in general and achievement, and you being in this big dangerous independence, like the magician card, like you're dangerous when you're taking control. You okay, collective, um and you don't have to carry with your parents or your grandparents, your great aunts, anyone's generational trauma and burdens. And sometimes even though it hurts, we have to let them go. We have to let them go. And this could mean literally like relationship wise, like you have to cut like ties sometimes, and it's hard. But this could also be like just symbolically, not necessarily cutting your parents off, but cutting, their martyr and their sorrow that they've been carrying and being passing to you. In some ways we can totally be in peace and coexist with people, not just their parents, and really transmute all of that pain that they choose to keep carrying because they feel familiar with it. They have identified it with it and made it part of their soul, you know. And that's their own path. You cannot save anyone. You already know that. We have the star seer, which I want to read a little bit about. Listen to your intuition, trust the holistic journey, dreams finding their way into being the bigger picture, a more aligned outcome than expected, clarity to the greater path. Divinatory meaning, keep believing in yourself, trusting your dreams enough to let the serendipities unfold, let go enough to allow space for the unexpected opportunities. Even when the route is not as direct as you imagine, listen to your intuition and know you've got this. And then we have alignment. I mean, what more do you want, right? It says inner integrity, being vibrational match for what you want to bring into your life, manifesting from a place of love over fear. Energy flows where your attention goes. Subconscious sabotage, stimulously actualizing our dreams. Look where your desires and manifestations are being seeded. If your plans or dreams aren't unfolding as you would like them to, it's time to take a deeper look into another areas of your life. Is something out of step with integrity? Are you making decisions through fear or love? If it is through fear or avoidance, your manifestations might seemingly backfire to encourage experiences that will bring you back into balance. It is time to become a vibrational match for what you're seeking. Instead of striving harder for something, cultivate the feeling of already having all you seek. You will be surprised at what this shift in perspective creates. And this so aligns with the magician, like feeling like you already have the capacity to be all these things that you want. Like you don't have to just be a good, person that, I don't know, that takes care of others. You can also be the person that lets their inner child be brave and bright. You can also advocate for yourself and for justice for all. You can also fight for the right to obtain knowledge, like you name it. Um, yeah, because the magician is very like you're creating opportunities right now. Okay, collective around this full moon. You're harnessing a new job. You're calling it in, or you're um. It's just like you are transmuting the need to hesitate when you take these jumps and these decisions. And you know, a lot of our lives are human as humans and reincarnated here on earth is first having some financial stability. You know, money is not the bad guy. It's just how you use it, how you harness it, how you choose it to harness your highest potential and to stop doubting yourself, and yeah, to stop repeating stories or patterns, you know, that you have been repeating before. um I also want to say that choosing to take action in the name of love instead of fear really requires you to really know yourself and to not choose of the things that you've been raised creating, that you've been raised believing. Pardon me. And that all of that is probably based in fear, you know, because of course our past generations lived through hell, you know. It's nothing easy, the traumas that they've been through, and I'm not saying it's easy for them to just heal their trauma and just stop it, you know, just stop being the martyr and just change, because it is not, but it's also not your responsibility. So that's what also spirit is saying. So a message with so here in this part of the world, there's a lot of heat right now, and I live in the valley. I live like in the wilderness, literally under a tree, and the ants it's ant season, and they're coming and coming and coming. And I feel like even though we clean our living space, there's another message that came through with that, about them being a little lost. You know, they're looking for food, either food or moisture. So they're not really trying to hinder us on purpose, but there is moisture because the climate here, the weather is so extreme. It's really, either really cold at night, and then really hot, you know, during the day and such. So it creates moisture like everywhere, you know, everywhere, anything that's confined. And it just made me realize, you know, that things are not trying to like make a hell of our lives, but if we realize and we see the bigger picture, like the star was saying, like the stars here was saying, um, we can actually realize that they're also looking to be guarded, to feed their families, you know, to feed the queen, I don't know, um, and bring those like those factors that make a collective work. And they're trying to survive, you know, in their habitat, and there's not a lot of seeds here, you know, there's not like nuts or anything like that. um but I feel like there's a sense of like they're really looking for warmth, which spirit translated for me as like literally the warmth of love and vitality that we as humans harness. And that's what they're also looking for, you know, like shelter, and this all of this, um like protection, like safety that we have here. We're able to, you know, create shelter for ourselves. Ants, not so much. Yes, they have their little like hole in the dirt, but you know, it's hard to transport food, and they're trying to really just make it through. Um, Another thing is the confusion, you know, like the confusion and the sense of being lost, because we live like right next to our farm, and they don't really they can't really perceive that over here, because for them it's like super far. But maybe perhaps there are other ants at the farm that do feed from the seeds we plant, maybe, or like something, you know, the plants, whatever, the irrigation system, they drink water from them maybe. Yeah, but they're like they're just misplaced, they're looking in the wrong place, and there are some energies that we need to let go, even if though it's hard. like literally like killing ants, you know. I'm gonna protect my family, you know, my partner and our child, and I'm gonna kill the ants. um, and that's really portraying to a message of like, even though sometimes it's sad to, you know, make those sacrifices of living relationships, perhaps they're stinging you, they're sucking your vitality, the love and the warmth from you, and perhaps even um, your like joy sometimes, you know, because they're confused, they're looking where they shouldn't be looking. They can obtain that from their own source somewhere else, and even from their inner vitality. It's just that there's confusion about how to harness that, or maybe not practicing on how to do it, because we all have this ability to do it, right? Harness our own inner light and our own inner vitality, magician again, energy coming through. Yeah, and align that and perhaps channel it, anchor it, you know, from cosmos to earth through you. You are the anchor. Yeah, but it is sad, but there's sometimes we need to do that, and like just showing me as an example, like, yeah, I don't talk to a lot of people that were like these ants, you know, and it's been years since I have talked to these people or this family too, and like it's okay. It was kind of hard, and yeah, I learned a lot, let's just say that. And that's another message that is coming through this full moon, because we know full moons is also to let go and maybe thinking about these things, being aware of these things. Also there were other channelings that I'm reading through right now that, okay, so it reads, the only way the abusive can control the brave honest heart is putting the mind against it. So the only way anything or anyone could control our honest brave heart is putting our mind against it, right? Creating that inner war in between our mind and our heart. The one thing that the heart is capable of doing then is stop fighting the mind. So it's like surrender to non-judgment to the mind, even though it did this, it did that, you know, I killed dance, whatever. And just witnessing in it, and just knowing that we took the best decision, you know, for our shelter, for our family, you name it, to survive here out in the wilderness, because we're just like the ants, you know. We have to redirect them, and literally had to like, you know, use herbal weapons. We use herbs to redirect them so that they wouldn't want to like be near us anymore and smell these strong herbs, like this strong peppermint cedar, so that they would just, okay, let's go look somewhere else, because this is not the spot, you know. Like, we are protecting ourselves, you know, with the beauty of the earth as well. And let me keep reading my notes. Like this, welcoming the mind as it is, even in its darkest phase, wanting to sabotage the heart, it feels seen, it feels heard. Yeah, it's like, I hear you, pain, I hear you, I see you, but okay, I need to keep moving on and really acknowledge you and know that you would have a place in my heart always. But it will be simply nostalgia of the beautiful things that also led me to that, you know, or to these people or whatever, and the things that I learned, and then like letting that go also. Okay, so it is about how love frequency can break all barriers, really. How you can break all barriers and all of the fear, you know, and choosing from love. And it blends with the heart, making a duality that is harmonious, that making you know where to go. Harmonious, you know, like this masculine energy and this feminine energy, like receiving all of these bounties, knowing that it's okay to, you know, advocate, yeah, for justice. Yeah, intergenerational burdens, also like just trying to understand that they're not meant to stop us from achieving our passions, you know, developing our talents, our abilities, also to serve the collective, because it's part all like one. It's all one. All of these that I mentioned, right? Um, yeah. What else is coming through, spirit? Yep, the feminine and the masculine as a team to heal ourselves and to help the rest do it, to show it either by word, by sharing palabra, by, sharing whatever, sharing your art, sharing your karate lessons. So you advocate, so you literally advocate, like do not let yourself be bullied um in any sense. In mostly I want to say that it's going on mentally, you know, like psychic attacks and perhaps like in dreams and this kind of stuff. But yeah, there's also this other note that I love to read that I channel and close off this reading. Because we have a human right to explore ourselves and be just as kind, honest, intelligent, and brave, and just and practice all these virtues, not fit in just one box. Love is integration, each virtue being stronger with the other, like sacred geometry. Hexagons. Yeah, I just typed hexagons next to it because I always loved hexagons. I've seen the sacred geometry in the sky when it's sunny, and I've also seen it like through stars. And oh, my candle, like it shone. Oh, like it made me witness it. The wind too, like my windows are open. But yeah, I've always witnessed the beautiful sacred geometry and the divinity of it. Uh, yeah, what else is coming through? Maybe you'd want to explore the stars, around this full moon. Maybe when the full moon passes, so it's not so shiny out there and you can perceive more stars when the moon goes less bright. Okay, so I think this is all that is coming through for this reading. It was such a pleasure to channel this for y'all. See you in the next one. Bye.